Hi everyone, I'm Giampietro, candidate for SAR Mayor. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there today, but I still want to tell you guys about my platform and let you know what's up. This year I've worked on SAR Cabinet and I've really learned what works and what doesn't work with us as a cabinet, which is really important because there was a lot of experimenting that we had to do as a cabinet to figure out what works best for us. So it really helps me to know what can work and what cannot work realistically with us as a region. I've worked as our regional events coordinator, which I helped to plan the mini regionals, and I'm currently working with 2 chapters to organize mini cons. I'm currently my chapter secretary, which works with most of the paperwork that typically chapter presidents work with, so I can really understand when chapters are having trouble registering for conventions, getting people to sign in at meetings, getting people to pay their taxes. I dealt with most of that this year, so I'm really knowledgeable in that and can relate. I worked with SAR CIA, where I called chapters just to let them know what's up and whatnot, and some chapters I've learned how to hunt down their chapter presidents just in case they're having a busy week and having a hard time answering calls. I've worked with several expansion contacts in my area, so I've learned really that you need to work on a personal basis with people, and that it's not always as easy for one person to start a chapter as it is for another, and that it really is different things that sparks interest in each of us for JSA. I've worked with Adopt a Chapter this year in helping to build chapters that are newer. I worked as a chair and a clerk at Winter Congress. I attended the Montezuma Leadership Summit this summer, and at this, I met with leaders from every single JSA state, and I've really learned what's different about each of us. I've talked to different mayors from various regions around the country, and I've seen what they've done to their states to really improve them, and how your region really does affect your state. And I was my school's mini conference coordinator 2 years ago, which was really fun. Our biggest problem facing the SAR is still expansion. So my plans to help with that are to work with state expansion agents to make sure that they're focusing attention to areas where JSA already exists, because when you work with chapters there, they have a support system, so it's easier to continue going, and it's easier to help each other out when you have someone down the street from you who's also having a JSA chapter or a JSA issue. In addition to working with these contacts in areas where JSA already exists, I want to work with contacts outside these areas to help where JSA really has a chance to flourish. Like Philadelphia, we have a few chapters there right now, but they can really grow. There's a lot of schools there, and it has a lot of potential. This year we've doubled in convention size, and I want to continue to do that by setting realistic goals for each state convention. Publicizing the SAR will help to gain interest from people who don't already have chapters. We can do this by getting articles in local newspapers about individual chapters and mini regionals. We can do this through advertising through schools that don't already have JSA by emailing heads of history departments and asking them to talk about JSA and mini regionals during their class and letting people know about that. We need to connect the SAR by creating an e-newsletter, which will allow every person in the SAR to find out about regionals, mini-cons, activism projects, and state conventions. Sometimes when you do things through CIA, things get lost in the shuffle and people don't always find out about them, but this way every single person will know about these events. If we centralize NJR and SAR CIA, it will ensure that nothing gets lost in between those two, so that chapter presidents who live close to New Jersey or chapter presidents who live close to Maryland or Pennsylvania will know about the events going on there, and they'll be able to attend those. It will help both of our regions. Holding monthly COCP calls will help for the exchange of chapter president ideas, and often some of the most creative ideas can come from chapter presidents on individual chapters. Sometimes these ideas get lost in the shuffle between CIA agent to CIA agent, so these ideas can be shared and we can hear everyone's questions and concerns together, which will help people who may not have even thought of these things before. we can start an SAR newspaper, which will help keep people informed about different things in cool, creative ways. At this regional, for the NJR Spring Edition, they did a Twitter crossfire debate in their newspaper, which looked really cool. And it just presents information in a cool, different way. And it helps to connect people. You don't have to be on cabinet to write in the newspaper. You just have to want to. So it's a way to get involved for people. And I also want to provide chapter presidents at the beginning of the year with resources to help them transition into their term as chapter president, such as debate resolutions, tips on running a chapter meeting, and a mini-con guide to help them along. Working with groups of chapters to organize JSA activities that aren't always JSA related and as strict, like JSA car washes for activism or dances for activism, to help raise money and promote a sense of community within JSA chapters. And also, I would like to improve regional venues to make them the most accessible locations for JSAers, where ideally they have the most public transit. So maybe with the current Maryland Regional, possibly moving it to Central DC, and Scranton Regional possibly moving it further south where there's more public transit. Alright guys, so I really want you to look at everything I've presented to you and think about what you think needs to be done with the SAR and let me know. My AIM screen name is CalamitySarah126. Feel free to IM me at any time. I'm probably not busy if I'm online. Facebook me, email me. My email address is sgiampietro92@AOL.com. I currently don't know where my phone is, so call my house phone. It's 570-654-8210. I will love to talk to you on there. When I find my phone, I will probably send out a message on Facebook just to let all of you know. And that's 570-407-1187. Alright guys, I'll see you really soon, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day at Regional. Vote SAR for the SAR. Thanks guys.